Hello there, it's Henry here, and I'm so glad you've joined me. In this video, my goal is to help you truly transform your digital marketing results by walking you through the specific marketing strategies that are actually producing real-world wins right now. Here's the honest truth. Online marketing is often portrayed as being far more complex than it needs to be, and I think that's a real shame. Because once you grasp the core principles, it becomes quite straightforward to manage. Digital marketing is not just about running ads or sending newsletters. It is the process of how people find you, build trust in you, and eventually decide to purchase from you. However, most newcomers spend months chasing the wrong platforms or using ineffective methods. After spending more than a decade designing marketing systems for major companies doing 7 and 8 figures in revenue, I've discovered there are only a few essential elements you truly need to master. And that is exactly what I am sharing with you in this brief video. So, if you are ready to avoid the most common pitfalls, stop the guessing games, and finally achieve tangible growth, then please stay tuned, because by the time this video ends, you will be a much more capable digital marketer. So let's get started. The very first topic I want to cover with you is how digital marketing compares to traditional marketing methods. Get ready. This might sound like a massive subject, but in reality, it isn't overly complicated. And that is actually what makes it so interesting. Here is the situation. Digital marketing is simply promotion handled through electronic channels. That is the whole story. I'm talking about SEO, which is how you get discovered on Google, social media, paid promotions on Instagram or Facebook, email marketing, your business website, basically any marketing activity that happens online. Now, contrast that with traditional marketing. Think of things like TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, and billboards. Essentially, it is any medium that is not digital. The reality is that traditional advertising still has its place. There is no doubt it works, but digital has some massive advantages that you need to recognize, which is why for the majority of businesses, digital marketing strategies are usually the ones you should prioritize. And here is the reason why. First, consider reach. With digital tools, you can connect with billions of individuals. Anyone holding a smartphone or using a laptop is a potential lead. Second is precision. You don't actually need or want to market your offer to every single person. We will talk more about that shortly. What you actually want is the right audience. It's like handpicking the ideal crowd for your business. And digital marketing makes that process much easier. Third is the cost. Online platforms are much more affordable than, say, an ad in the New York Times or a massive Super Bowl commercial. Those types of broad placements are designed to reach everyone, which means you end up spending a fortune to reach a huge number of people who are simply not your target customers. But the real game changer here is the speed. Conventional marketing takes a very long time. You have to write the copy, design the creative, send it off to the printer, and then wait for it to finally land in front of your potential viewers. This means it can take weeks or even months before you know if your marketing campaign was a success or a failure. But with digital marketing, you can set up an ad or post a new update and have it live in just a few minutes. Almost immediately, you can observe what is working, make adjustments, and receive instant feedback on your performance. And since all of this happens on the web, you have a clear data trail to follow. You can monitor clicks, costs, and conversions in real time as they happen. Compare that to waiting months for data from, say, a magazine advertisement that tells you basically nothing. At best, someone might fill out a form or go to your website, which brings them back to digital anyway. So yes, digital marketing has some very clear benefits, but don't completely ignore traditional methods, especially once you have already mastered your digital channels, because it still has its own value. The real secret here is to zoom out, focus on the foundational elements, strategy, core principles, and learning what triggers people to take action and buy. Master those basics, and you can succeed with digital, traditional, or whatever new technology arrives next. By the way, if you find this helpful, please like and subscribe to this channel. Okay, now let's walk through a very important distinction that you must recognize and understand, which is the gap between marketing strategy and marketing tactics. If you have ever felt like you are doing everything by the book, but still aren't seeing the results you want, this is the reason. It's because you're prioritizing tactics before finalizing your actual strategy. And here are the facts. Tactics without a strategy are just noise and a lot of busy work that leads you nowhere very quickly. Strategy is the overarching plan. Tactics are the specific actions used to pull that plan off. To see genuine results, you have to build your foundation first. I refer to this as the marketing master plan, and it consists of 5 key parts. Part 1 is the model. This is your business structure, what you sell, your pricing, and how your offer is delivered. But here is the vital part. To win in the long run, your business model must be profitable and also enjoyable to run, because there is no sense in building a company that you secretly grow to hate. You also need to sell something that the market actually desires and is ready to pay for. Now, I know that last point sounds very obvious, but you would be shocked at how many businesses fail by not doing even a tiny bit of market research beforehand to ensure people will actually buy what they are providing. Step 2 is the market. These are your specific people. Now, I am truly begging you, when someone asks you who your target audience is, never say everyone or anybody with a credit card. You must be very precise here. In other words, who are they exactly? What are their beliefs? What do they truly want? In marketing, we try to build something known as an ideal customer avatar, which includes these 3 categories. First are the demographic details. These involve things like age, gender, income levels, and their jobs. Next are the geographic details, like what town, state, province, or country they inhabit. And finally, and most significantly of all, are the psychographic details, things like their values, their attitudes, their convictions, and their lifestyles. You want to refine this until you can talk about your target market better than they can describe themselves. Step 3 is the message. Now that you identify who your audience is, it is time to use their specific language. Do this by addressing their challenges directly. Show them that you truly understand them, and then prove how your business is the solution to their problems. This is a stage where stories, reviews, and real outcomes turn browsers into believers. Customers don't buy because they understand you. They buy when they feel understood by you. Step 4 is media. Now and only now should you select the specific channels and platforms you will use for your marketing. YouTube, email, Instagram, or podcasts. It all works if it aligns with your model, market, and message. One of the most frequent errors that new entrepreneurs and marketers make is starting with media first, picking a platform before they have defined their model, their market, and their core message. That is a major mistake. This is where shiny object syndrome lives, and it will waste your time and money if you aren't prepared for it. After all, there is nothing worse than pouring your time, cash, and energy into a strategy or a platform where none of your ideal customers are even active or present. Step 5 is the machine. This is the part that many people overlook, but it is the difference between a side hobby and a real business. Your machine is your marketing funnel, the system that transforms strangers into leads and leads into paying customers. A marketing funnel is really just a professional term for the journey a customer takes from having no idea you exist all the way to becoming a dedicated, loyal fan who loves your brand and what you do. Every company has a funnel, whether they realize it or not. For an online company, the funnel usually looks like traffic, which could come from a social post, an ad, or a video, which then leads a person to a landing page where they share their email for more information. Then, an email follow-up sequence builds that relationship by offering value and establishing trust. Finally, you use a conversion tool to complete the sale, which might be a consultation call, a checkout page, or anything that lets your customers buy. The main point is your machine makes the process repeatable, predictable, and easy to scale. Think of your machine like a vending machine. People put in their attention, perhaps through a free gift, a lead magnet, or a webinar, and out comes a sale, a booking, or a new subscriber. It is your behind-the-scenes system that stays on autopilot, turning interest into revenue over and over again, like magic, marketing money magic. And when you align all 5 parts, model, market, message, media, machine, you have a strategy designed to last, a marketing master plan that makes everything else much simpler. So, what about tactics then? Well, tactics are the smaller, daily moves. These involve things like how often you post, the style of message or hook you use, the ad tweaks you make, like swapping photos for videos, headlines, subject lines, hashtags, and whether you use them or not, memes, and all that kind of stuff. Strategy chooses the game. Tactics help you play that game better. Or here is the easiest way to visualize it. Strategy is picking the right battlefield to fight on, and tactics are how you win the battle. If you pick the wrong battlefield, then it doesn't matter how good you are or how smart your moves are. You won't win because you aren't fighting anyone. You're out there all alone. Okay, next, let's discuss organic versus paid media, because getting this right can both save you and make you a significant amount of money. Now that your marketing master plan is set, let's move on to a topic that confuses many people: organic versus paid marketing. Get this part wrong, and you will either waste a massive amount of time or you will burn through cash with nothing to show for it. Neither of those is very fun. First up, organic. Organic marketing is any content you share without paying to promote it. Think of your YouTube videos, Instagram stories, blog articles, and emails. Any content you produce to attract an audience without using an ad budget. Now, it isn't strictly free in a technical sense because you're still investing your time and energy and perhaps some money in production. But since you aren't paying a platform to boost its reach, it is considered organic. Then we have paid marketing. Paid marketing is when you spend money to put your content in front of more people. Think of Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube ads, or Google ads. Almost every platform has its own advertising version. So which one is better? Organic or paid? Well, the truth is you need both. I know that sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but organic is excellent for building trust and depth, but it is a slow process. On the other hand, paid is powerful for speed and scaling, but it requires capital. So really it comes down to one question: do you want to invest your time or your money? For example, if you post 3 reels every week on Instagram, that is organic, and it helps people find you over time. Alternatively, if you run a $10 daily ad campaign to promote your free guide or offer, that is paid, and it puts your message in front of your ideal audience instantly. Both methods work. You just need to know which lever to pull. That said, most businesses should typically start with organic to test their message, then scale it with paid once they have a proven winner. Because when you blend the two, that is when the real growth kicks in. Okay, next, let's jump into one of my favorite parts of marketing, because this is where all of this strategy starts creating real momentum. You're going to love this. Okay, we've covered strategy, media, and organic versus paid. By the way, if you like this content, please like and subscribe to this channel. Now, it is time to discuss one of my favorite topics in all of marketing: direct response marketing versus brand awareness marketing. This is where a great many people get confused. First, direct response marketing. This one is exactly what the name suggests. You are releasing content that asks for a specific action, a direct response. Think of phrases like buy now, click here, sign up, book a call, or download this. Essentially, you're asking a person to do something. The benefit of this style is that it is trackable. You know what is working and what is failing almost instantly. Run a Facebook ad and collect leads. Send an email and watch for registrations. Post a YouTube video with a call to action and track the free trials that you generate. That is direct response. It is fast, it is measurable, and it is ROI focused. Now look at the other side, brand awareness marketing. This style is all about playing the long game. It is not about clicks today. It is about building trust and credibility so you stay top of mind. In other words, your priority here isn't to chase a sale immediately. Instead, you are planting seeds. Think about reputation, visibility, and recognition. Less buy now and more remember me. However, there are two big hurdles when it comes to brand awareness marketing. The first is that you can't always measure it. Unlike direct response marketing, where we can literally count every click, with brand awareness, it is a lot tougher to track how well someone recalls your brand 90, 180, or 365 days later. After all, you don't receive a notification when someone finally starts trusting your brand. Oh, it looks like they trust me now. The second issue is that brand awareness marketing is simply not as efficient at closing a sale as direct response marketing is. And many business owners and marketers fall into the trap of trying to build a brand at the cost of losing actual sales today. But here is the biggest mistake of all, and it's a big one. People run a brand awareness campaign, but expect direct response results. That is a recipe for total disappointment. It's like baking a cake and getting upset when it tastes like bread. Wrong recipe, wrong expectations. So what should you do? Well, it is simple. Use the right tool for the right job. If you want leads or sales, use direct response. If you want long-term brand love and loyalty, build awareness. That said, and I feel very strongly about this for most people, most of the time, and I'm talking about 90% of people, 90% of the time, you will be much better off by focusing almost entirely on direct response marketing and treating any brand awareness that happens as an added bonus. That's how you build a company that not only grows fast, but also stays around for the long haul. Okay, next, let's talk about another subject that leads many people astray: search versus discovery marketing. Okay, this is another major point you need to get right if you want to win at digital marketing. Search versus discovery are two completely different beasts, and the main difference between them comes down to one single word: intent. It all depends on why a person is on a platform in the first place. First up, search marketing. Think of Google, Bing, Yahoo, or YouTube. Any search engine. YouTube is a bit of a mixed bag, but I'll explain that in a moment. People use a search engine with a specific mission. They are hunting for an answer, a product, a guide, or a solution. So when someone types in best protein powder or how to fix a leaky tap, they aren't just browsing, they are buying or learning or doing. In other words, they have intent, and that intent is your signal as a marketer to appear and solve their problem. You can do this primarily through SEO, which helps your content rank naturally at the top of the results, or something like Google Ads, which put you at the top instantly. This is high intent and high value, and when done right, it converts amazingly well. Now let's switch to discovery marketing. This is your social scrolling zone. Think of Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or even YouTube, depending on how people are using it. As I mentioned, YouTube is a bit of both. If someone types in a question, that is search. If they are just browsing the homepage or scrolling through shorts, that is discovery. In discovery mode, people aren't actively looking for a solution. They are killing time. They are just relaxing. They might be open to something cool, but they aren't typing in best CRM for new startups. This is why when it comes to discovery marketing, your primary job, if you want to turn attention into sales, is to stop the scroll. Entertain, intrigue, or educate. Do whatever you must to make them want to know more and then lead them somewhere helpful. Discovery marketing is about winning attention, not capturing existing intent. So which one is superior, search or discovery? Well, just like our talk on organic versus paid, the truth is that both search and discovery are powerful, but they function differently. With search marketing, you meet people where they're already looking. With discovery marketing, you interrupt the scroll with something worth their time. Use the wrong approach at the wrong time, and all you will do is burn money or squander your effort. Okay. Next, let's talk about another big one, which is the difference between marketing products and marketing services. If you sell any kind of service, this is something you really need to pay attention to, because most of the marketing advice out there wasn't created with you in mind, and following it is losing you sales and costing you new clients. So let's fix that right now. Here is the deal. Most marketing books, courses, and tutorials were written with selling products in mind, not services. Products, things you can pick up, unbox, touch, taste, or hold. But selling and marketing services is a totally different game. Services are intangible. You can't see them, you can't touch them, and you can't show them off in the same way. In many cases, people have to pay up front without ever trying what you offer. This means if you run a service-based business and use product-focused marketing tactics, you're setting yourself up for frustration. Let me break it down. With products, you can show what it looks like, you can demo how it works, and highlight the features and perks. But with services, you don't have that luxury. There's no easy way to film a demo of a life coach repairing your self-confidence. No screenshot can prove trust. There is no way to touch or hold the emotional end result that someone feels after their car is repaired, or their lawn is mowed, or their windows are cleaned, or their taxes are filed correctly. You are selling something invisible, which means you have to market it in an entirely different way. So, how do you do that? Well, the key is that you don't sell the service, you sell the transformation. In other words, what was your client's life like before they worked with you? And what is their life like after? Here is a quick example. Let's say you are a business coach. Your client starts off feeling overwhelmed and stuck with no clear plan on how to reach their goals. But after working with you, they have a clear roadmap. They have hired their first team member, and their revenue is finally growing after being stuck at the same level for over 2 years. That is what you market, not the sessions or the labor, but the transformation. First, shine a light on the pain they are feeling now, but to show them that you truly understand their situation and what they are going through. Then, paint a clear, irresistible picture of what is possible on the other side. Products show features, services sell feelings, outcomes, and results. And the more clearly you can describe their problem and the transformation you provide, the more you become the obvious choice. So selling services is very different from selling products. By the way, if you like this content, please like and subscribe to this channel. But another factor is who you are selling to, a business or a consumer, which is why it is also important to understand the differences in marketing between B2B and B2C. So let me break that down for you now. Okay, let's talk about the difference between B2B and B2C. Simple terms, but the difference between them changes everything. B2B stands for business to business. Here, you are selling to companies or organizations. B2C stands for business to consumer. Here you are selling directly to everyday people and individual customers. Again, simple to define, but very different to market to. B2B marketing is usually about fewer customers, larger deal sizes, longer sales cycles, and more decision makers. It typically benefits from logic-heavy pitches that focus on ROI, clear processes, and proven outcomes. B2C, on the other hand, is about reaching the general public. It involves simpler, faster buying decisions and usually benefits from more emotion-driven messaging. The focus is on desire, identity, and lifestyle. With B2B marketing, your audience is much smaller and more focused, so you have to make sure every interaction counts. With B2C marketing, you're playing a volume game and trying to get in front of more people more often. That said, here is a quick warning. If you are marketing B2C, that does not give you permission to try and target everyone with a pulse. You still need to be selective and clearly identify your ideal target market using the steps we talked about earlier. As a general rule, B buyers want to feel smart and safe, while B2C buyers want to feel seen and excited. By the way, if you like this content, please like and subscribe to this channel. And hey, if you are sitting there thinking, that was great, but how do I actually put this all into action? I have got you. Right now, I'm giving away my entire digital marketing system, 100% free. Watch this free masterclass and discover the marketing strategies and software that I teach to marketing agency owners to grow their client business and use them to grow your own. Or if you just want to find the best digital marketing tools and software and the specific software I use to grow my own business, just check the link in the descriptions below the video to get instant access to the exact tools and templates I use to build campaigns, my plug-and-play automations, and the same marketing software that I use to run it all. These are the exact same systems I've used to generate millions in revenue from solo creators to large businesses. So if you are ready to stop guessing, start growing, and finally build a marketing system that brings in leads and sales on autopilot, this is your next move. Either watch the free masterclass, no fluff, just what actually works. So feel free to check that out now if you're interested. And if you're a service-based business, whether you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, or other service professional, the masterclass video is especially for you. It is linked up right here with my top strategies to help you attract clients and grow your business. So feel free to tap or click that now, and I'll see you in there in just a second. Thanks for watching.